sometimes we do take we mismanage the rules, or we don't necessarily follow the rules. However, we still get to where God wants us to be most of the time. 99.9% of the time, we just take the long route around, right? So like we put ourselves in position or in situations out of us being mishandled. And a lot of that, what I heard and what I read in the book was kind of beginning with mistrust. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. So sometimes our trust is distorted, and that comes from so many other seeds that's been placed in our life. And we talked about one of the things I saw, and I kind of broke it down in the book. The very first couple of chapters were lack of trust, finding loopholes, and taking accountability. I think those were really, really big things that stood out in the book. What would you like to speak on as far as the lack of trust?
Uh, you have to really just ask for it. When it comes to trust, you really just have to ask Holy Spirit who your assignment is, because people always tell you a great story. Yeah. They will tell you the best story ever. And if you're not aware and just gullible to whatever they're selling, you buy it. And when you do buy it, you feel like a fool when it comes back to bite you. So the next person that you are supposed to help, you can't help them because you've been burned by the person that you were not supposed to help. And like that builds. You know what I'm saying? It's just not, it doesn't stop with one person. So eventually you're gonna have to figure out what it is about you that is causing you to trust these people, and ask yourself how to change it, because you don't want to become a stone, but you don't want to become a footstone. You have to find that healthy balance. You gotta have balance. Balance and boundaries are the utmost important. And I'm super excited about this, guys. And I just want to plug this. If you all have not gotten this book, and we know we normally do this at the end, I will really talk about this book throughout this interview. If you have not gotten this book, there are nuggets for days. And when I say nuggets for days, I mean nuggets for days. I'm going to read one thing. I'm going to read this. And it says, the root of impatience is mistrust. We do not trust that he is concerned about our desires. This mistrust gives us the green light to cultivate our own community. The problem with this is we will try to put people in positions where they do not belong. That is powerful. We do this so often because we want to have that control, right? When we get ready to trust someone, then we sort of give them an amount of control over our lives to say, hey, I trust you to handle me this way. I trust you to handle me that way. But when that mistrust happens, when there's a disconnect there, we start putting people in places, and then we become the puppet master. We get to control it. And that's where that disconnect is. And I was like, oh, this is like an aha Oprah moment. This is mind blowing. So with that being said, I know that you talked a lot about the root. 90% of the book is just finding the root of the issue, right? How did you find that for yourself? I know therapy was one. What are some other ways that you found out, like, hey, this is the root that I need to deal with? Well, like I said, I went to therapy, and I started noticing patterns. Mm-hmm. And everybody that I was connected to was doing the same thing. And eventually, it's going to dawn on you that it's something about these people that you are attracted to, and you need to figure out why. And once you figure out why, it's easier to disconnect. Because once you figure out why, you're going to fix the problem. Hopefully you fix the problem. And then it'll be easier to disconnect from people that you know don't make you any good. Because when you're not sure about them, you tend to give more grace than they deserve. Oh. And
And when you keep giving grace, they keep taking grace. And, after a while, you'll have so much grace to give. And after a while, if you don't fix the problem, you'll become like a hermit. You'll shut down. And you won't trust anybody. And when you do shut down, you lose your purpose for life. You lose your ambition. And you don't serve any purpose for anybody other than yourself. So
I love it.
yeah.